Arnold Schwarzenegger is fast becoming the most reviewed actor in Born to Watch lore. And 1987's The Running Man is a movie that deserves more praise. Eerily correct in its depiction of reality TV. I know watching The Bachelor or Married at First Sight might feel like life and death for some. But for me, Climbing for Dollars is definitely a more rewarding watch. Often forgotten as it's released in the same year as an undoubted classic, Predator. The Running Man has all the pieces to make it a hit. A superstar lead, great source material, and interestingly enough, they steer enough away from the book to make fans of it interested. But also a TV star with so much charisma, you'd swear he actually did it for a living. Joining me tonight in a 4-ball for the ages, Dan on the land. Welcome.
Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of tears behind the scenes with this one. Listeners, you may not realise I hide it pretty well, but I do get to bludge a lot during the podcast that I get to join. I let those jabberers just have all the limelight they need because it allows me to go off and have my own thoughts for large slabs of Born to Watch. But tonight, unfortunately, Whitey's got me in the tractor beam and I need to contribute a lot more than usual. So this could go one of two ways. I also need to apologise. I sound like Gow. I've got a bit of a cold. It's hard scrabble up here on the land. You just got to power through. So I'm looking forward to this one, though. Really enjoyed the revisit.
Yeah, I've got to say, these 80s action movies, obviously right in our wheelhouse. And this was, I got to, exactly the same as you, Dan. I actually really enjoyed it. Haven't watched it for a while. Had a lot of fun with it. You'll be excited also to know that I watched this with my 11-year-old daughter.
Oh, God.
Who thoroughly enjoyed it and is now begging me to go and watch the new one at the cinema next week.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to contrast that with my experience with my daughters last night, where we had to leave the pub where we were having a nice meal because there was a storm. And the lightning was a bit scary.
Yeah, look, there is no doubt, Dan, that our children are cut from slightly different cloth, and there's no judgment on either way, each to their own, and all humans are wonderful in their own right. And
that's for sure.
Except for Gow, if I was father to your children, let's just say maybe it'd be the same. I don't know, but
who knows?
Who knows?
Is it nature or nurture? I don't know. I mean, the G-Man, he started off an absolute 10 slayer, and look what he's become. His story arc to become easily the most boring man on the Born to Watch podcast is entertaining. However, slightly unusual. Some might say odd, like the man himself.
He is ranked 7 out of the 5 hosts that we've had regularly on this show. But no, look, he's not joining us tonight. He's having a lot of fun in Vegas.
Yeah, Las Vegas. He's over, doing a little bit of scouting around for some new guests for our podcast, I believe, in Sin City.
I think the issue is, Dan, that he got so inspired by Showgirls that he just had to get over there.
And how could you not? And I'd say he's off to find Naomi. And I think I mentioned last time, but I did listen to the Showgirls pod, and that's unusual for me, but thoroughly enjoyed it. However, I did have a problem with the rank bank and what you guys chose. You guys chose Versace.
Yes.
As your descriptor for the film. I would have chosen, I've got a problem with the pussy.
Yeah, well, one of the greatest lines in cinema history.
Yes, indeed.
Very, very interesting and funny rewatch. Of course, we are Born to Watch, the movie podcast where we don't take the movie or ourselves too seriously, unless, of course, it's the Snorbs Report. And I must say, probably not a bad week to miss it. It's quite a sausage fest, as you would say.
Festival della Chorizo, for sure. I mean, the G might end up in the Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Tobey Maguire poker game in Vegas, so he might get some insights for us
He'd be more Joshua Jackson. He'd be Joshua Jackson.
If he's in there. Yeah, but pushing the boys on some amusing anecdotes from their lives in Hollywood, of which he could add a few. Then hopefully he'll come back next week well prepared. But yeah, fairly difficult Schnorb report this week. That said, our favourite little fan of pants, mate, I'm sure would have smashed it had he been on.
Oh, I've got no doubt. I actually know Maria Conchita Alonso. I think there's definitely some Schnorbacks in Extreme Prejudice, but we're going to leave that for the experts. Excellent. I am but an amateur in that field.
You are a but amateur indeed.
Yes,
yeah,
I am but
some might say enthusiast, but an amateur.
Correct. That's probably the exact terminology for it, Daniel. Definitely. Overs and unders. 1987 film, 38 years old. I'm going to be, I think, conservative with you and I. I think this was a movie we may have sort of rolled into quite a bit as young men. I'm going to say 25. Where do you sit, Dan? Do you remember the first time you saw it?
I wouldn't have a clue, but it was a very well-viewed movie back in the day. I reckon it might even be part of the fabled 4 VHS tapes that I had at home. It has expanded somewhat over the years, but it is growing. But no, I've seen a lot. I'd be at least on the knocker with 25. Hadn't seen it in some time, but did watch it last year and enjoyed the experience. So was not dreading watching it this week.
Yeah, mate. I got to say this. So 87 release. I reckon I might have seen this. This would have been one of the ones that I would have gone to after Predator. So I reckon the first Conan, the first movie I probably saw of Arnie was probably Conan. As a young kid, as probably 10 or 11, definitely would have been Conan, and then it would have been Predator, and then would have gone back into this as it came out the same year. But mate, I'm heaps. I am heaps. This was a favourite of mine as a teenager. I'm past 50 comfortably, but I haven't seen it. Similar to last week, I haven't seen it for, mate, I got to say, I probably haven't watched it in full for 10 years. And which made this watch really enjoyable. Didn't miss a beat, a bit like you, where one of those movies where you sort of remembered as they were saying the words, and the famous "I'll be back" only in a rerun made me chuckle. And I'm sure we'll get to that bit a little bit later. But
before you move on, though, you mentioned 1987, so Predator came out a few months before this. Two very different Arnold Schwarzeneggers in both Predator and The Running Man. I've got to say, a couple of those close-ups, I may have had a little bit of a thing like you do with Brad Pitt. Arnie looked particularly good in this film. He was looking very handsome, our favourite Austrian juggernaut, and notably slimmed down for this film.
Did you read as to why he was slimmed down?
Yeah, I believe he was injured and couldn't train as hard as he did. And I do understand. I was quite bulky, as you know, for some time, a bit of a beefcake, and I've since since slimmed down somewhat, and many people liken me to the Predator Arnie in prior, and now the Running Man Arnie. So I can totally understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You've definitely, everything you've said there is correct. You were definitely quite bulky, and you definitely have slimmed down.
Excellent.
So here's your favourite part of the podcast. I'll tell you what I did. I cut this down considerably because it was quite hefty. But I'm going to read the back of the VHS.
Oh, excellent. So do you remember the cover? It was just a kind of 3/4 shot of him.
Yep.
Yeah, sort of side on.
It sort of had rollerball vibes.
Yeah, excellent.
So
absolutely.
There's a bit. I think there might even be a photo somewhere, a cover somewhere that had the spiky glove sort of look to it.
But you could tell nothing about what the movie was about by looking at the cover. It was all sold on the back of Schwarzenegger, which shows just how huge he was in 87.
Well, I think more than any decade in the history of cinema, the movies were sold by the star in the 80s. I think there were lots of movies where we had no idea what it was about, but we just went because Sly was in it, Arnie was in it.
You didn't know anything about, like, it was our consumption of media was going to the movies, or maybe the Sunday night flick on Channel 9, which was cut to shreds with all the adverts. But you had no clue until you went to Roy Mustaka's and saw the trailers or went and saw the film. Now, I was thinking through the week, how are the middle-aged movie dorks?
Mate, the middle-aged movie dorks are great. Actually, it's quite timely because I helped them out with a episode of Alien last week.
So they did Alien, and they didn't choose the bona fide expert on the Born to Watch team on the film Alien, who has actually done an entire podcast about film school for F-Wits on Alien. So, and those guys chose you muppet.
No, what they did is they reached out to me and they said, look, we're short. We've been let down by a couple of people. So, of course, you go to the Southern Hemisphere where people, their word is their bond.
We do what we say.
We do what we say, and we say what we do. And they said, can you help out? And I said, you know what? I can. And I did. And what happened was, straight away, my good mate, Tim, was straight into Dan on the Land.
Excellent.
He said, I've been catching up on a bit of Born to Watch, and I actually think Dan's got a problem with us guys up here in the States.
Which one's Tim? Is he the one that looks like a proper dork, or is that the other one?
Well, you are such a cock.
Tim, mate, it is all in jest. You guys, we like you very much, and you'll find that if I do decide to throw a bit of shit talk your way, it means that there's some actual fondness for you. So please do not take anything I say seriously, except when I call Gow an odd small teeth cunt. That is absolutely true.
Well, mate, it's quite funny. We all had a laugh at that. I said, look, it's a term of endearment. If ever we pick on people, it's because we like them, and that's an Australian way.
They seem like good fellas. Got it.
So they knew, and we had a good laugh. And it was mentioned that we did do a whole episode of Alien Condensation that can be found on our feed, and I'm sure that the Northern Hemisphere consumption of that episode will go through the roof in the coming weeks.
That they would have listened to that, my little cut down version, many times in prep for their own pod, and I'm happy to provide that service for you boys.
Correct. So that's it, guys. Listen to the Middle Age Movie Review podcast. 4 really cool guys, a lot of fun, similar age to us, except a bit American, which is a bit of a shame, but they try hard, the boys. But Matty,
would we say really cool?
Well, look, we're all doing a movie podcast, so it's economies of scale.
It is.
It's economies of scale.
It is. We're all, the delusion is real amongst us.
We're all here. So, we're all here and we're doing it.
Check them out. They are awesome. I wouldn't have a clue. I wouldn't fucking waste my time. But I reckon they'll be all right.
Yeah, they're all right. Well done. The year is 2019. Television is now ruling people's lives. In the 21st century, the most popular audience participation game show is The Running Man, where convicts can win pardons instead of parting gifts by defeating murderous henchmen known as stalkers. The stalkers haven't had much of a challenge lately until Ben Richards comes along. Wrongly convicted of slaughtering 1,500 innocent people, Richards is the next contestant to fight for his life and his freedom. There we go.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
Can I suggest we mix it up a bit tonight? Because this flows really nicely into my film school for F-Wits, because that blurb describes a dystopian future, and it's what we're all talking about. It's always comical when the dystopian future is 8 to 10 years in the past of, so 2017 is when this film's set, and I've got a couple of points in good, the bad, and the ugly to bring up. But I love dystopian films, and I love dystopian books, and my favorite dystopian book fluctuates a lot, but The Road by Cormac McCarthy is probably my most favored of dystopian books. It is so fucking bleak, but just cannot turn away, like reading in a session type book. But I just want to go through. No, the movie is a very fond adaptation of the book itself, and it is the Whitey the Sook
Cryometer.
would be the cryometer would be
The
15 out
cryometer
of
is
10.
150% on the road.
Yeah, at the end. Oh my god, yeah.
Mate,
If we read the book or see the film, if you haven't, it's great. But I just thought I'd go through 10 other dystopian films, and I actually looked at films that had a similar plot device in that it was a bit of a hunt for the protagonist. And there weren't many of those, but I thought we might talk about those in another episode. And I just thought I'd focus on dystopian for this week. But number 10 was 1993's Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes with a bleach blonde do, much like mine in Canada in 1998, when Gow didn't talk to me for at least 3 months because I looked so shit. And of course, Sliced Alone. So do you remember that?
Yeah, it's a good movie, good fun. The three shells and
That's right. Yeah.
the three shells and having sex just by sort of touching.
Yes,
interesting. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a good movie, Demolition Man.
I wouldn't have seen that in 30 years, but it did tweak my memory when I saw it written. The next 9, 8, and 7, RoboCop, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Running Man that we've just looked. I mean, I don't think you could argue that all of them are excellent examples of a dystopian future, all very, very different. But from the satire of RoboCop to George Miller's incredible imagination that has influenced so many other films from the original Mad Max, and I know that the Middle-Aged Torch Talks did that as well. Middle-Aged Movie Talks did Mad Max as well, and you got in there and helped them out. So Fury Road, obviously, a masterpiece of a chase movie, and then The Running Man, which was just viewed, we'll continue to talk about. But number 6, one that we don't speak about a lot, but one that is also incredibly influential is Gattaca from 1997 with a very young Ethan Hawke and a very young Uma Thurman, which is actually the movie that they met and had special adult Lydell's on and ended up getting married from. But what a great flick. Do you remember much of Gattaca?
Oh, I haven't seen it. I reckon I haven't seen it since it got released.
It was a critical failure. Sorry, it was a commercial failure, but a critical success. So I would encourage you to go and check it out again. Really highbrow stuff, high concept. However, just didn't translate to a very good box office score. So didn't continue on with any sequels or anything. Not that it needed to. Number 5, Children of Men, I've crapped on about ad nauseum. Clive Owen in Alfonso Cuarón's masterpiece. I can watch that every year without fail. I just love it. It's incredibly great film, and we've spoken a lot about the oneer inside the car where the horde comes down from the hill and then he shoots the 2 cops at the end of the scene, and you're in that silent scream mode as you're watching that scene the whole way through. But what a brilliant film, and really captures that dystopian vibe of a future 5 minutes in the future, and one that really feels like with what's going on in some of our countries in our orbit could be not far away, which is really scary. Number 4, The Matrix, the only one in that quadrilogy that I actually enjoyed, but a groundbreaking film in the day that really captured the zeitgeist and was an excellent take on the Wachowskis' view of our dystopian future, and all based on our reliance on the digital world, which has a lot of it proven to be quite prescient. Number 3, Blade Runner, the masterpiece from 1982. Several billion versions on the line, so much so that I can't actually remember which is the favored cut of that one. Or if Harrison Ford is a human or a cyborg android. Much discussion about that. I think we all agreed he is an android in the end, but there was always a lot of discussion about that from the first releases. But very much sets the gold standard in dystopian style and still looks incredible 43 years on.
100%.
Just a brilliantly shot film there. A little bit more fun for number 2, and again featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Terminator 2 Judgment Day from 1991, a few years after this one. What a fucking cracking film. Again, one that hasn't suffered too much from getting bogged down in the advances of technological filmmaking. They did really good with what they had at the time. And we watched it again recently, and I really enjoyed it. And again, just another vision that really expanded that Terminator universe. Did it need to be expanded to the 14 films we have now? Absolutely not. But the first one and the second one were outstanding. And then finally was, I guess, a dystopian novel that became a very good adaptation in film, which was the original Big Brother world of 1984. Have you ever seen the film of that? I think we might have actually watched it in English class back in the day. It was
I reckon
made
I
in
saw it.
yeah.
I saw it at school. It was made in 1984.
That's right. It
Wasn't
was coincidentally made in 1984, but another incredible novel and captured really well in the film. Super bleak and was actually what I thought the Soviet Union was like in 1984. I thought that there were cameras watching you turn your paper and watch you eat your toast, and that was the propaganda that was going on at the time from the West. That was what was happening in communist countries, and I was sucked in completely. So it certainly went a long way to fooling a young sporting elite Dan Morgan at the time. But they're my top 10. Any others that you thought of when I was mentioning those?
I reckon that's a great mix. But you've also obviously more recently you've got the Hunger Games novels. You've got Battle Royale.
Those. Yeah,
Battle Royale, the Japanese movie.
Really, really good calls. And I was looking at those more in the game showy style environment. So I think they'll pop up in the future. There's some excellent examples that I think owe a lot to The Running Man. Those two are two excellent examples. So I think we can do a complete other segment on that. But yeah, awesome. Nice one. Film school early on for F-Wits.
Oh, well done. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to revert back to the movie The Running Man. We're going to watch the trailer. So strap in. Normal programming has resumed.
In the year 2017, an innocent man accused of a crime has a choice. Hard time or prime time.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him.
He must pay or play the running man.
On your mark.
I'll be back.
There we go.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Not bad, except it does say 2017, not 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little bit of a mismatch between the exposition copy at the start of the film and that trailer. So I'm sure someone got fired.
Did you pick up on the music used for that trailer?
No, I didn't. Wasn't listening. What was it?
It's the James Horner score from Aliens.
Oh.
I
I didn't pick that up. Yeah.
When it first came on, I was like, fuck, that's familiar.
Yeah.
Just the actual moody piece. And then when it goes into that quick beat as well, I was like, that's Aliens. And it was,
Geez, they whore themselves out, these composers, don't they? They'll license the track or anything.
I think what happens is that a lot of movie trailers obviously get made before the scores are done.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And so they go back and they go, well, what are some of the rights that the studio holds, or what is someone, who do we know, who's a mate? Let's just steal from this. But very interesting. Only a year before Aliens, 86, so still relatively new. And actually, that score is actually used in another movie. I forget, it's a vampire movie in the early 80s, in like 83 or 84. Again, James Horner scored again, So he sort of used some of those themes that went into Aliens, and then they've stolen it for this. So there
I believe that our favourite little strawberry blonde pubed friend has been off watching movie scores perform down at QPAC again.
Yeah, he has. What would have been a good one to see that. It's
who was
the Symphony Orchestra?
Oh, was the Queensland Symphony?
I think it was the Queensland Symphony Orchestra. Yeah. Yeah, so they played a lot of the major themes, which would have been pretty cool to see.
Yep.
But anyway, moving on. Critical thinking. IMDb rates The Running Man 6.6 out of 10. Certified fresh, or it's actually not. It's just 65% on the tomato meter with a 61% popcorn meter score and 0% on the cryometer. Yeah,
no one to shed a tear over. Maybe Mick Fleetwood's makeup, but that's about it for me. Yeah, nothing that brought a tear. I don't think anyone's shedding a tear over Dynamo dying. That's for sure.
No, he's in the good, the bad, the ugly for me.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a good review. Chris Ward from Flickering Myth. Could be one of Gow's nicknames. The Running Man remains as much fun to watch as it was back in 1987. And thanks to a perceived drop in social standards, it is more relevant now than it has ever been.
Yeah, nice, Wardy.
Yeah, like that.
I wonder if he's got massive saggy nuts like our other mate, Wardy.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly.
Good on you, Wardy.
A bad review, the Variety staff from Variety magazine. Schwarzenegger sadistically dispatches the baddies, enunciating typical wise crack remarks, many repeated from his previous films, but it's all too easy.
Yeah.
Did you find though that the battles between the stalkers were very quick?
Well, it's hard to look at it and view it through eyes today because we're used to incredibly detailed choreography for what would be martial arts or battle films. I mean, you compare that to any of the John Wicks or any or Nobody that's recently with and every man and Nobody too. Like they're just the fights are so much more stepped out. So yeah, sure, in 2025 it looks pretty hokey, but in 1987 that was fine. That was, I mean, Arnie's never had a superpower. His superpower has always been that he's a big guy. And that was how he defeated everyone. So I don't think that they could really have had him doing roundhouse kicks or any true martial arts because he hasn't got any. He's just a big unit that defeats them with his brawn. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the beast.
So yeah, I can see how people would, especially if they're singing in the rearview mirror. But at the time, no, it's fine.
Yeah, cool. Ordinary people. We'll get through this quickly. We'll start with Arnie. Look, this is the sixth movie that we've done of Arnold Schwarzenegger's.
Sixth?
So he's
wowzers.
So he's and we've got another one of his coming up in a few weeks' time. So he's a favourite of ours, and he of our age group, definitely a favourite of our age group, and definitely for the men. Now, Morgs, off the top of your head, top 3 Arnie movies, go.
True Lies.
Yep.
Commando.
Yep.
The Running Man.
Okay, good call. Nice. That works.
True Lies is the standout for me.
Okay, mine would be Predator, True Lies, T2.
Yeah, that's mine as well. I just fucked it up.
And I've got a question in question time, which will dig a bit deeper into Arnie's filmography and where this movie sits. So Arnie, obviously a big favourite of us. The Ben Richards character, it's essentially just another Arnie character. I don't think we can say that this is, he's done anything special. But again, like he's a superstar. He looks good. He holds the movie. He does exactly what he needs to do. Arnie's the hero. Yay, every time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Richard Dawson as Damon Killian, the show host, hosted Family Feud in the States for a long time. And have you seen any footage of
I haven't.
Richard Dawson on Family Feud?
No. Right? Is he a little rogue?
So he is, yes. Let's just say he's the guy that sidles up to the women and sort of grabs them a bit inappropriately and kisses them. It is fucking like it is a movie.
Yep.
Like he is the guy you're looking at him going, this is a little bit creepy. That was him. He was amazing. But I think he's a highlight in this movie.
Absolutely. He is. Couldn't be better cast. Just oozing with charisma, but just a complete dirtbag. Reminds me a bit of how Ellen DeGeneres has since been described on her chat show. So completely two-faced and just absolutely cunty to everyone, all the underlings, but projecting this completely different persona to the audience. So, yeah, loved it.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. Now, Maria Conchita Alonso as Amber. Now, mate, around this time,
she was
87,
had a bit of a
88,
moment. Yeah.
she had a moment. Extreme Prejudice in 87.
What a film. Nick,
One of the best films.
Nick Big Nuts Nolte.
Yep.
Outstanding.
It's an outstanding film. Powers Booth, and she's sort of the love triangle between Nick Nolte, Powers Booth, and Maria Conchita Alonso in 87.
Yeah.
A great favorite. A great favorite of Born to Watch, Colors in 88.
Yes.
And it's movie.
Emma Knight, Mel Walking, Psychopath Talking. Oh, what a film. Sean Penn.
I've got to say, I think that's one we may have to revisit in person together because it's been a long time between watches for that. And that was something that we watched on a massive rotation.
Oh, it was definitely one of the 4 movies at my house, that one.
Definitely one of the 4. And then in 1990, she stars in Predator 2, which obviously doesn't star Arnie.
Danny Glover,
so she's one of the cops with Danny Glover, Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I actually don't mind Predator 2. I think it's not bad. I haven't seen that
for a long time.
Yeah. It's, again, we talk about dystopian futures. It's set in a LA that is completely dystopian it almost feels like in a completely different timeline to the original movie.
Yeah, agreed.
But she's a bit of a punish in this movie. She's just stock standard girl who you're just like, just shut up. Ben Richards knows what he's doing. Shut up. And I'm sure we might get to that a bit later in the podcast.
Yeah.
And Yaphet Kotto as Laughlin. Obviously, we covered him in 79's Alien, which is
doesn't
he's
have
amazing.
a lot to do in this.
Does not have a lot to do. And actually, I had forgotten how little he's in the movie.
Yeah, and how lame his death is. He's just like,
he gets
I'm dead.
Yeah. He gets dispatched pretty quickly. But obviously, we love him in as Parker in Alien. He's so good. The back and forth that he has with Brett, Harry Dean Morgan. Is a highlight. And I think it's one of the things that, as I've gotten older, I've appreciated that relationship in that movie the most.
It says so much about the universe that they're in without any exposition whatsoever. It's just these two are down and dirty space miners, like talking shit like anyone else would do on a work site. And that is so different to what we were used to seeing with that real Star Trek-y, high gloss, silver space shit that was served up to us prior, which was just amazing. And he really embraced that. And I agree. I think him and Harry Dean Morgan are 2 of the best in that flick.
Also, they really highlight the classism that's in that world because they're not even a full share.
No,
so it's like the only reason they're like
Mark Wahlberg in Perfect Storm. They're like an 8th share.
Yeah, they are. They're not even a full share. So, but he then before that though played. He's in Roger Moore's Live and Let Die Bond.
He's a brilliant actor. He really is. He does so much with his face and eyes and the close-ups. He's exceptional. You can tell he's a little bit more gifted theatrically than Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I think underutilized in this.
Yeah, definitely.
He's also
Jim Brown,
big man, wasn't he? Like he towers over Arnie when they're in those terrible suits, which we might speak about a bit later. But
camel toe suits. Big fella. Jim Brown, Fireball. Now, often regarded as one of the greatest NFL players in the history of the game, running back for the Cleveland Browns. Also, the Dirty Dozen.
Jim Brown was in the Dirty Dozen.
Dirty Dozen. Jim Brown is the guy who was running with the grenades at the end to shove them down the exhaust holes to blow up the mansion.
Oh, there you go.
Jim Brown is in the Dirty Dozen. Yeah. So there you go. Yep. Again, the stalkers have nothing to do in this movie.
No.
Really. Jesse Ventura as Captain Freedom, obviously in 87, stars with as Blaine in Predator, which he's probably more known for that role than this role.
Oh, he got time to bleed. He's very good with the minigun. Yeah.
But again, the bit that I loved about his character was that you think when he storms back into the production room and he's taking his pathetic suit off.
Yeah, his Star Trek suit off. Yep.
You think he's pissed off for a different reason
Yeah,
You think
it's
he's
a
pissed?
good switcheroo.
Yes,
Yeah, I
think
agree.
Great
Yeah.
switcheroo. I
Yeah.
think that was really cool that he's pissed off that he actually doesn't get to go in.
So
He's
that's
not
really
because
interesting you picked that up. Yeah, because I'd forgotten that when I watched it this
Yeah.
time. And I'm like, what's this Gaylord doing? And then I was like, no, he actually wants to fight this guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be part of this deep faking that was really going on 40 years before what we're seeing today on South Park and Trump's tiny penis. That is, which was also excellent. But yeah, no, very, very good pickup.
Yeah, I thought that was really well done. And then really the last two, we got Mick Fleetwood, who obviously is under a ton of makeup. He plays, again, a character that's in it for 5 minutes. Really, he's the leader of the resistance. Wasted.
Rumored that the character was actually Mick Fleetwood. So that was part of, he says a couple of lines. So that, which I thought was really amusing. Really, it's inspired choice, I guess. Like, doesn't really, could have been played by any number of actors, but yeah, why not make it Mick Fleetwood? He was good. He was fine.
Did you pick up his offsider who's played by Dweezil Zappa?
I did, yeah. So very young.
Yeah.
But the sorry, mate.
You're right.
Yes, the director and casting directors obviously love their rock music and wanted to sprinkle it with a bit of rock magic and royalty. So that was good.
Did you also pick up that his name was Stevie?
Yes.
So for those of you that aren't as educated as Daniel and myself, you know, Mick Fleetwood, Stevie Nicks, part of Fleetwood Mac. There's the tongue in cheek.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure that you all got it. And then last but definitely not least, Professor Toru Tanaka, Subzero, and really he's a no one, but Gao loves him and loves just being able to say the name Professor Toru Tanaka.
Gao was like, I loved wrestling. We went through a phase in the late 90s, early noughties where I really got into wrestling. But Gao, the fucking dork, loved wrestling from like the early 80s onwards.
Yeah,
he was just such a Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Superfly and Professor Tanaka lover that, yeah, he will crap on ad nauseum about his love for those early WWE stars for sure.
Ted DiBiase. The $1 Million
the British
Man.
Bulldogs.
The British Bulldogs, yeah. Be better,
yeah. Loved it.
Be better, yeah. Number 30th in the box office for the year.
Oh, interesting.
Just over $38 million worldwide.
Bit of a flop.
Budget was $30 million.
Bit of a flop.
It's a flop. It's a flopperoo, but I think it's one of those ones that, again, on home video, really found its way, which is great. And I think the cream always rises. And I think regardless of what I've found, because a lot comes down to the marketing, right? So if it's not marketed right, then people aren't going to spend their hard-earned to go to the cinema to watch it.
No.
They'll find it at home, whether on cable TV or on VHS. And some of the great movies have been, you know, living on forever that way, in a cult way. You know, one of our favorites, Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing, are two movies that absolutely flopped at the box office, but have gone on to become cult.
Which we can't understand. I mean, we love they're 5 out of 5 flicks for us, but at the time, just completely ignored by the public at large.
Yep. Okay. Well done. 1987. Oh, sorry. No Oscar buzz. No awards. Nothing like that. Surprisingly.
Yeah, it was 1987 was a fairly stacked year of movies, so it would have been tough to circumvent that.
Absolutely. And during our 1987 hit, sleeper, dud, and swinger, we'll get to that. Now, we have done 12 movies from 1987.
Right?
This is our highest reviewed year.
Oh, stats.
Right? So listen to this. Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Predator.
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Can't Buy Me Love. Dirty Dancing.
Yep.
North Shore.
Yep.
The Princess Bride. Mannequin. Beverly Hills Cop 2. And now The Running Man.
Wowzers. 1987 for the win. Yeah.
What a great year.
Yeah.
It could be the best year of cinema of all time.
Yeah. I'm just looking in that, like in the 70s and 80s, you've got Hamburger Hill. You've got Extreme Prejudice.
Yeah. It's a great year.
Jason Bateman, who we love in Teen Wolf 2. Did you end up watching that Netflix one he's in recently, Black Rabbit?
I'm 2 or 3. I think I'm 2 or 3 episodes in.
Yeah, you stick with it. It's slow, but it's. I think it's worthwhile.
I'm thoroughly invested. Episode 1 I thought was great, even though it was a little bit of a slow burn. I really enjoyed that. Mate, you'll appreciate this. I had to go to Sydney for work last week, and I stayed with an old mate of mine, and I introduced him to Mr Inbetween.
Oh, he hadn't seen Mr Inbetween.
No. So him and his wife had not seen Mr Inbetween. So be better. I sat there and watched like over a couple of nights, watched the first 3 or 4 episodes with him.
Oh, wow.
And then I got a message from him, I think the day after I left or 2 days after I left, because he messaged, "Have you got tadpoles in your balls?" Which is the episode where
the little daughter,
where the daughter walks in on him and Brooke Satchwell going at it.
And dogs.
Mate, and he goes, "I'm absolutely loving it." Now, people, we've talked about it a lot, but Mr Inbetween is one of the great Aussie TV series ever made.
If you haven't watched it, be fucking better. Go out, watch it straight away. You will love it. I don't care what corner of this universe you're on, even one of those shitty little joints like New Zealand, it's fucking excellent. Go and check it out.
Yeah, very, very funny. Now let's
even those narrowbean fuckwits enjoy Mr Inbetween, and I don't begrudge them.
No, I agree. The hit, Dan, and you've got it. What do you got?
Oh, really? Okay. So, just scrolling through the 1987 worldwide box office as we speak. So don't go leaving. Just play some music in your head.
Extreme Prejudice.
I can't go by The Lost Boys. It came in at number 38 this time. Would have cost a lot less to make than The Running Man, but at 32 million in and around that area. What a great flick. Super stylized. We didn't know a lot about America in 1987 because media consumption was very different. And we got a lot of the kids in America from Kim Carnes songs and from movies. And so we thought that this might be something you do, hang out in horror comic book stores and wear 3/4 length coats and be Corey Haim or Corey Feldman and go on adventures with the Frog Brothers and kill vampires. Was it plausible? We didn't fucking know because we were in Chroma and not anywhere near this joint. So thoroughly enjoyed it at the time. We have reviewed it. Probably has aged somewhat. Whitey will, without fail, every month send us a clip of the saxophonist from The Lost Boys.
I still believe.
Still cutting fucking sick in 2025, which is always awesome. So, yeah, look, if you haven't seen it, go back and review it. Some hot to tot candy, eye candy for everyone in that with some Hollywood starlets at their prime, and that's just the dudes. Go and check it out, The Lost Boys.
Good call, Dan. We did it many, many eons ago. It was our 14th episode we ever did.
Wowzers, look at you guys.
And
you're a fucking stats machine.
It got 3 maggot fried rices.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a movie that, and I spoke about, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it to you that I think we're going to do a re-ranking episode.
Yeah, I can't think what we wouldn't have liked about it. Like, what would have been... Yeah. Okay, I think what ticked me off.
I think, in all honesty, I think in the early days, we were a little bit harsh because I think, because we ripped into Roadhouse, we ripped into Lost Boys, and there were some movies
we loved
Backdraft. We ripped into Backdraft, and so and so it might be worth just going back and each of us sort of picking 5 movies that we think might be worth looking at re-ranking and seeing it, and it may rank better, it may rank worse, but
I think we probably should invite Sloan from the Hood onto that one because he's a snapshot of what we thought in 1987 because that can't, and we love him for it, has not changed his taste one iota.
He's not.
40 years. And God love him. It's a really good way to think what we thought about those movies this time. And his fuckwit brother is exactly the same. But who's to say they're not absolutely right and we're the fuckwits? It's,
No, 100%.
It's good on them. Very big part of the pod, Sloan from the Hood, still in the Badlands of Colorado Heights as we speak, looking down over that shitty place, Narrabeen. Awesome.
Yeah, one of the great legends. My sleeper, I've gone horror. I may have mentioned it before on the podcast, but it's Hellraiser.
Clive Barker. Yeah. Pinhead.
Pinhead. It actually had what's his name? But he was in Cobra. He was Scorpio.
Yeah.
He was Scorpio. He was I forget his name, but anyway, he's been in a few movies that we've reviewed.
Yeah,
but he's definite Morgs-alike. But a woman discovers a newly resurrected, partially formed body of a brother-in-law, starts killing to make him whole again. And there's this puzzle box, and the Cenobites are from hell, and they introduce people to a world of pain. And it is, at the time, was groundbreaking. Clive Barker book. Clive Barker directed. And he was going to be an absolute superstar after Hellraiser, and never really did much after that. In terms of wrote a hell of a lot of books, but was never really hit the heights of Hellraiser. But it's a real heavy body horror, gory. It's a good movie. But there's been about 50 sequels, of which I've seen 0. But the original is by far the best, and worth a watch if you've not seen it. Anyway,
good one. I agree.
The dud, Dan. You've got the dud.
Well, I mean, it's hard to go past Can't Buy Me Love as far as one that I did suggest, and I rue the day that I mentioned that we should catch up with that film. What a steaming pile of horseshit that was. Loved only by Damo, because, of course, it was loved by Damo. But, yeah, didn't age well. Was a lot lamer than I thought. Probably this was a time when I was enjoying Degrassi Junior High. I was enjoying a lot of Canadian teen melodrama in the afternoon on the ABC. So I had a different view of the world. And Can't Buy Me Love probably painted a world again of an America that we thought maybe this is plausible. These kids don't have to wear a uniform to school. They get to make phone calls. They get to drive cars to school when they're 15. Who's to say that this isn't what goes on? And I think we were just captured a little bit too much by that, which has since been debunked. And unfortunately was very much highlighted in our visit of Can't Buy Me Love.
Yeah, shit movie. Hated it. Damo be better. I've got The Swinger, and again, it's a horror. Well, yeah, it's a horror thriller starring Terry O'Quinn,
the Quim of the Morning.
The Quim of the Morning, who is probably more famous now for being John Locke in Lost, but it's called The Stepfather. And it has been remade, but the original is so good. After murdering his entire family, a man remarries a widow with a teenage daughter in another town and prepares to do it all over again. It is so good. Really, really good. Good fun. Good sort of horror thriller. Worth a watch. There we go. 3 movies to watch, 1 to absolutely avoid. But 1 incredible Born to Watch episode of Can't Buy Me Love to listen to. You'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, you'll love that.
Question time. Now, Daniel, is this a top-tier Arnold movie? And hear me out. I think top tier. Terminator 1 and 2. Predator. Total Recall, True Lies. I think a very close tier 2, Commando, Conan, Pumping Iron. Where does the Running Man sit?
Yeah, again, everyone's got to apologise. I'm running a bit of a man flu this week. So when Whitey sprung that on me before, my brain just wouldn't work. No, you are absolutely correct. Running Man doesn't feature in the top echelon of Arnie movies. I think you've got your Terminator, you've got your Terminator 2, you've got your True Lies, probably a favourite of mine, and you've got your Predator. And then I think there's a step down to the likes of Running Man, Commando, Raw Deal, and a few others. So, yeah, I wouldn't put it in the top echelon, no.
Yeah, no, cool. I think it sits just below.
Yeah,
no, but in that just below, I think you've got your Raw Deals, Red Heat,
yeah,
Commando, Conan.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's probably some more recent ones which are fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
But one that I think is just a tier below, which is a lot of fun, is called Sabotage, which he plays the DEA agent.
Yeah, haven't seen
And
it.
it's got Jake Sully in it from the Aussie guy, Jake. What's his name?
What's his fucking Sam Worthington?
Sam Worthington. Yep. Yeah. It's got Joseph Manganiello's in it. It's got a really good cast and it's good fun.
Anything after he was the Governator, I don't think I've seen a flick that he's in, including all of the Terminator reboots and stuff. Haven't watched it.
No, it's not been good. And I'll tell you what, he made a lot of movies very quickly once getting out of office.
Yeah, very true.
Now, in the Prison Break, could the code numbers on the screen be any bigger?
Yeah.
So I would have thought there'd be some sort of two-factor authentication. There'd be some sort of security. But these numbers are almost as big as the screen. If anyone's sort of just strolling past, is going to see them.
Yeah, it's not the only depiction of 2017, which is proven to be a little hokey. But yes, that whole limited graphical interface that we saw to depict how advanced the future was in 2017 is probably lacking when compared to the actual 2017.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Chico, who is a bit of a, that guy in movies. You've seen him in 100 films, but he doesn't play anyone.
Yeah.
He runs through in open battlefield, just runs down the alley. How the hell isn't he shot before his head gets blown off?
Yeah. It was interesting. I mean, I enjoyed it as a plot device. My dog has the same collar that he wears.
So does my dog.
Both of our dogs don't. Their heads don't explode when they breach the perimeter. But yeah, look, interesting. Upon reflection, could have been a few other choices that Mr. Chico could have made instead of getting his head blown off. But amusing all the same. Yeah,
absolutely. Do you think? Okay, you've already mentioned this movie, but do you think the cityscape has a Blade Runner feel about it, especially the ICS building? Ooh. In that sort of big pyramid, and when you saw the cityscape from high up, when they're watching the crowds watch the TVs, for me it had a real Blade Runner feel.
Yeah, the city. I know what you mean. I didn't get that vibe when I was watching it, but I totally understand where you're coming from. I find that Blade Runner is probably a step above as far as the universe.
100%.
Really, Scott was able to design. And that way I didn't compare the two. But I get where you're coming from.
Yep. Okay. So Arnie, Ben Richards is broken out. He's probably the most famous prisoner in the history of America at that time, but he manages to get back to his brother's apartment and enters in the PIN code to his brother's apartment, and he gets in, but a month before, the apartment has been changed to someone else. Would you not assume the PIN code's been changed?
Isn't
that the first thing you do?
Absolutely. So I think that's, again, a plot device that was needed for us to believe that it was his brother's old apartment. But I'm not sure if that's meant to be Bakersfield, but I have been to the real Bakersfield, and it's a fucking toilet. Sorry for all our listeners from that part of the US, but it... really, Sacramento and Bakersfield are in a death match for what is a bigger shithole.
Okay. Thank you to our listeners of those two places.
It's not to say I don't love the people, but you can keep your
people are great.
Down.
Where they live, terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. How is it that all these people are living in like abject poverty, but they still have the cash to gamble?
Well, I don't know. That's kind of if you do watch trends during economic downturns, the two things that remain very buoyant are drinking piss and gambling. So no, I tend to agree that the economists amongst us will identify that as probably realistic, unfortunately.
Okay, that's sad. That's a sad depiction.
It is.
Why would the network keep the original recordings of the massacre in an open file system?
Yeah, again, a great plot device, but pretty fucking dumb. Yeah.
But and it's titled Original Bakerfield Massacre File or whatever.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I found that there was a lot of spoon feeding the audience some stuff that wasn't required, like a couple of things where we could obviously see it was his friends from the prison breakout on the screen and he had to name check them. There was a couple of things where it was just the script was a bit on the nose and unnecessary. So I think that was one of them.
Now, I actually had this as the last question. I'm going to move it up because we've just spoken about the file system. Yep. Where did Amber hide the file? In the prison wallet?
Well, there's only a few options. Well, I would have thought that would have got checked, but it's only one really of two places that it could have been. So I think each would have been excellent.
Absolutely,
the prison wallet and the tighter prison purse.
Yes, absolutely. Now, why is Amber such a pain in the ass when she enters the game? She is a fucking pain. Just shut up, bitch. You got them into this situation. Just let Richards deal with it, right?
Yeah. She must have been able to draw a few conclusions during her being captured and put into the running man game that may have suggested she needs to be a little contrite when around the bloke that she got in this mess in the first place. Yes,
I do love it when he says so. She says, "I wish we should have gone to Hawaii," and he goes, "I wanted to, but you fucked it." Something like that.
So good, good.
Now, Fireball, Jim Brown.
Yeah.
Is he wearing one of those famed shark suits? You know, of the metallic where the shark bite suits?
Yeah, or it was a costume from Starlight Express, one of the two.
Yes.
Yeah,
mate.
It was
an odd choice.
Very odd.
An odd choice. Okay, which stalker's death is the best?
I mean, Buzzsaw is definitely the goriest. That was what would have got its R rating. Other than that, and the head blown off for Chico, there wasn't a lot that would have given it the R rating back in the day. But I guess Buzzsaw.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Buzzsaw. Isabel was like, "Oh my God!
Yeah,
oh my God!"
Yeah. There's something about a chainsaw where you can visualize what it would be doing to your cock and balls that would not make for pleasant final moments on this earth.
And I think a Father of the Year, I think her comment to me was, "Dad, that's penis blood on his face."
Absolutely true. The statement of fact is all she's making there.
Absolutely. Now I did get an idea, Dan, that you possibly could have played Subzero with your ice hockey skills.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've spoken many times about sports that I excel at, and I've got to say that when the G and I on our travels, we lived in Canada for a few years, and ice hockey became something that we became, I'd say, pretty. We were identified by the Australian national team when we came back to Australia by playing some drop-in roller hockey down at the now defunct tennis courts down next to the Time and Tide Hotel at Evergreen. Yeah, we were spotted and sounded out to see if we wanted to join the Australian team. So yes, I was impressed that was a part of the killings and his killing field, because I would have excelled there for sure, as would the G-Man, due to our training in Williams Lake in Canada for sure.
Identified by the Australian team, was it like, oh, there's that dickhead that dyed his hair blonde that was in the crowd that week? What's he doing here?
There were a few markers that they would have noticed, and one of them would have been when I've spoken about before, but when they spotted me along the Narrabeen bike track with my rollerblades and a pair of ski poles, and I was laughed at by the 11-year-old on his bike, and had a moment of clarity and looked at myself and thought, what the fuck are you doing?
What was wrong with you?
In Canada, it was accepted. Like, you would see people out with inline skates on doing a bit of cross-training, because winter sports are obviously their main bag, baby. So I tried to take that back to the shithole that was Narrabeen, and I was laughed at by the filthy locals in that heinous suburb. But in in this aspect, I do agree with the Narrabeenites that I did look like a fuckwit and deserve to be laughed out of town.
Last question. When Richards kills Subzero, he looks up at the camera and says, "Hey, Killian, here's Subzero. Now, plane zero." What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. Look, the script, without pissing all over Good, Bad, Ugly, the script is really the weak part of this film. They've really tried to rely on all of Arnie's one-liners, but what the fuck they were smoking, snorting, drinking to come up with that one and workshopping that and thinking it should stay in the film, fuck will only know, because I certainly don't.
God.
Awful. Awful.
Terrible. Terrible. Okay, Born to Watch Only fans.
Oh, the lick outs.
Now, we did get a lick out on Spotify this week, and it was for the, hang on a second, I'm just going to bring it up. Bear with me, Daniel.
Talk amongst ourselves.
Just talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
I've got to find it now. Hey, Killian. Here's Subzero. Now, plane zero.
So shit.
So bad. So bad. Okay. All right. So we did get a comment on Spotify this week, which was nice. And you can go on to the episodes if you listen to us on Spotify.
So you can drop Paul in the Spotify platform.
You certainly can. You can leave comments in the Spotify platform. So Matlock1393 left a message after listening to Leon the Professional.
Oh, did I do that one?
Yes, you did.
Oh, excellent.
Peel a weak one from the herd. Lol. One of Morgs' best.
That was Damo at the Rock Lily, definitely looking intensely from the sidelines and just waiting for a little weak one, and then, making his romantic play for the week. Well done, Damo, the Strawberry Blonde Avenger. Excellent, Matlock. Love your work. Do we know where Matlock's from? Sounds like a sitcom.
No, we don't, but he sounds like he's not a bad fella.
Yeah.
Well, we've got
thanks,
a couple.
Matlock. Astute observation. I also laughed at myself saying that.
Well, that's 2 laughs he got. Now, we've got a couple of voicemails. We've got one from a great friend of the podcast, and this was after the Showgirls episode.
Oh, excellent. I did listen to that, so I will know what he's talking about. Good stuff.
Here we go.
G-string, scarves and wigs, on the stage. That's the best song I've heard in months. I'm heading up to my mother-in-law's place for her birthday, and I'm going to be fighting the urge at the table to sing G-string, scarves and wigs. I don't know the words, but it sounded great, dude. Well done. Knocked it out of the park.
G-strings, G-strings, snorbs, and wigs. One of Damo's
was that Damo's song?
That was Damo's song. Very, very funny.
He seems to be back in form, Damo. He went through a very shit patch where his songs were appalling. But I agree with you, William the Workie. That was a very, very fine example.
And we've also got another voicemail from another great fan from us from the Northern Hemisphere. Here we go.
Well, hello, boys. This here's your old friend Matt D over at the Middle Aged Movie Reviews podcast. Now, if Damo is your snobs reporter, consider me your foreign correspondent, because honestly, I think the movie you got coming up next, From Dusk Till Dawn, should be full of snobs, especially with that there Salma Hayek. Yep, she sure is a pretty little ass. Now, you're probably wondering why the heck I sound so different than my normal podcast. Well, that's because I got a cold. So anyway, I hope you guys have fun talking about From Dusk Till Dawn. And one last thing I want to say as your foreign correspondent. You know, I know a little bit about steers, and I have to say I know a little bit about bolo ties. And the best thing about a bolo tie is you slap that around your bull's nuts, and that's how you castrate a bull. So if you ever wonder why Morgs was wearing it wrong, that's why.
Outstanding. Return serve, and I'd say, 40 love to young Timothy there. Well played.
Yeah. No, that was Matt.
Yeah.
That was Matt, not
Oh,
Timothy.
that was Matt. So we'll do that again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Do it again.
Well played, young Matt. I'd say that's 40 love to you, my friend. Hitting me out of the park. Return serve, and you have the advantage. Well played.
Funny. Very good. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly, brought to you by our great mates at Gage Roads Brew Company. Mate, it was hot today. And I'll tell you what, I even got myself into a bit of a Mazzo's chili and lime ginger beer.
So good. I know we talk ad nauseum about the yellow can wonders of their variety of their ales, but yeah, if you'd love a ginger beer, that one with chili and lime is just delightful and made perfect. Did it reach 40 degrees at your house today?
Yeah, 42. It said in the car.
Oh, God.
Very, very hot.
That's
very hot.
heinous. I mean,
Yeah,
I think the planet might be fucked, and I would query anyone who says it's not. So, it's not meant to be 42 degrees on the Gold Coast in October.
No, it's not. It was seriously hot today.
Yeah.
A bit like, very, very hot. Daniel, we're going to start with you for the good. What do you have?
Yes. So I said it before, but I think Arnie looks amazing here when he's not puffed up like a bag of walnuts. Really handsome fella. And we didn't have to rely on him ripping his shirt off and bulging out everywhere. And he was actually smaller than a lot of his combatants, which is unusual for how his films are usually cast because he's the big brawny dude. But he looked great. And I think that this was probably his zenith as far as good-looking fella on stage, and didn't need to be the muscle guy throughout. He was big, but he wasn't ridiculously big.
I think he had to use his brain a little bit more than normal in this one, right? Think his way around.
That's exactly right. Yeah, no, that's it. And also, I mean, just a really fun watch overall. So I think that with a lot of his films, that can be overly serious and probably don't have any tongue in cheek. It's all macho guys punching on. I mean, the set of Predator we've spoken about a lot, which sounded like hell on earth, with everyone just roiding the fuck out of it and pumping iron and being a nightmare. This one seemed a lot more fun, and I think that's how he played it. And it's probably why I love True Lies so much, because I think he does have exceptional comic chops for the kind of wooden range in which he inhibits, but he is very enjoyable to watch on screen when he is being funny. And I think there's a lot of times where he really achieves that in this. So they're my goods.
Excellent. Well done. I've got the start is great. No fucking. I love movies where there's no fucking around. So we just get straight into it. He's in the helicopter. Then he's in the prison. Then then there's the massacre, straight into the prison break. So within 10 minutes.
Do you think we needed to learn everything from the crawl at the start? Like, I don't know. I think we picked it all up.
Yeah, I agree.
And
it was funny because I said to Belle, I said, "Oh, you should be reading this." And then I was reading it going, "Well, it's not Star Wars.
No.
Like, I don't think we needed it." But anyway, I thought the Harold Faltermeyer score was great.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the music in this movie.
Agreed.
A lot. I thought the score was good.
Perfect. Just hang on 2 seconds. I'm just going to knock at the door.
Yep.
Gone. It's gone. Continue.
Okay. Love the big TVs for everyone to watch out in the open.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
It's definitely a future I can get behind. I think that's super cool. I've already mentioned it. Richard Dawson as Killian could be the best part of the movie. He's unreal. I love that the Justice Department has an entertainment division. I thought that was really funny. Yeah, he rings up and goes, "Oh, the Justice Department, please, entertainment division." Thought it was really funny.
A couple of really good quips like that. Yeah.
The pen in the back. is probably the thing that I remembered the most as a kid. The
Yes,
signing
me
the
too.
contract and stabbing the
Yeah.
pen in the back.
Yeah, use my back. Yeah.
Yeah. The dancers were amazing.
Oh,
Right. So
I was in love with one of the dancers, and her name is Megan, and she has the kind of the very high ponytail that sticks up from the top of her head. 1987. That I tried to find out as much as I could with the limited resources that we had back then. But yeah, she was definitely a favorite of mine.
So choreographed by Paula Abdul, all sort of Lycra girls, all this kind of stuff. So, and got to say, absolutely, after watching Showgirls, the Running Man dancers put everything to shame.
They were
are
brilliant.
Really good. Really
Damo
good.
would have jazzed his little pantaloons for their talent.
Absolutely.
Not
Absolutely.
Snorb's actual dancing talent. So, yeah,
absolutely.
That was great.
Mrs. McCardle in the crowd is hilarious.
Oh, very funny. Very funny.
I
He's
get to
one
choose
man,
who I want.
motherfucker. Yeah.
And I choose Tim Richards.
Awesome.
I thought she was great. The toboggan entry, awesome.
So I meant to include this in my good. Sorry, but it really reminds me of Waterbomb Park in Bali when we go there with our friends, and it feels like we're in the Running Man tubes and really cheating death as we go down those massive tube-like Waterbomb Park features. So, I can understand what they were feeling. Yep.
And then my last good, and I've got a video cue for this, Daniel, and this is what I was.
Oh, you're searching for? Yeah.
Searching for when we spoke before the show. And I can only play probably 15 or 20 seconds of it, but it'll be worth it. This is my last good.
Excellent.
This is no game. Standing in the dark, I swear I heard you calling my name. And I mean things have changed. No pain, no gain.
Congratulations. Mate. Outstanding. I think it needs to replace our how we measure ourselves again for a kick-ass credit song. It is outstanding.
Seriously, I'd forgotten that song Restless Heart. When it starts to play, I am in. I watched all the credits and I was like, this song is actually really fucking good.
So funny. I almost didn't create my own kick-ass credit song and instead just recited John Parr's lyrics because they are awfully awesome. So, loved it.
No pain, no gain.
He rhymed steeple in there somewhere. It's just unbelievable. Not since Rick Springfield used moot point in his lyrics was I so confounded by the use of a strange term. But, well done, John Parr. Outstanding.
Yeah, amazing. So
well
good.
Done. Well done, Whitey.
The bad? Yes. Dan, what have you got for the bad?
Look, I think Yaphet Kotto wasn't given enough to do. We talked about that. It was just, it was definitely light on for such a great actor. And what he did, he was able to extract as much as he could, but in his line delivery and obviously his facial expressions. But he was just discarded way too early, I thought. Yeah. Dynamo's vehicle, the little go-kart, sounded very tough, but was absolutely pathetic. So, and against the pretty cool dirt bike of Buzzsaw, I thought looked absolutely shit. The Gilligan's Island joke that was made by Killian, I thought should have been a reference to something in 1987, not something in 1967, because we had fast forward 30 years into the future, which would have made it 50 years past, which was too old a reference. So I think they fucked that up. Yeah, I think they fucked that up. The multicam setup in the helicopter that is somehow captured, including point of view footage that somehow gets onto the tape of Ben Richards. How the fuck was that shot? They didn't have a film crew up in the air with them. So that was
outside the helicopter.
Yeah, it was a little too detailed for capturing what should have been a locked off, very grainy bit of footage of the helicopter scene, not a masterpiece of multicam and finishing with a point of view camera, despite the fact that there was no camera on Ben Richards. So I thought that was a little bad, but Yeah. Oh, and then I think the bookies outside were a little shit and didn't really read the room if they saw Ben Richards cunning sick and then decided he was still 100-1 chance to kill the next stalker when he was probably a little tighter in odds than that, and did their dough pretty quickly when old mate put $200 on the knocker at 100-1 and collected.
Yeah, it's. I also don't get the bookie scenes when people are just flashing money and they're getting given pieces of paper.
Yeah, but
Like,
they never
how does
really
anyone know what you put on?
They never really. Bookie scenes are not for gamblers whenever they feature in movies because, yes, we sit there and think, how the fuck is this being policed? Old mate's just throwing like even like a 2-up in our favorite film, Wake and Fright. At least we can grasp that one person holds the money and he decides whether it was heads or tails. But yeah, it was very hard to discern what the actual protocol was, working out who the winners were and the losers. So yes, very good point.
Yeah, I don't understand it. They did the same thing in Bloodsport. Like they're all throwing money. And
It's every movie. Every movie, gambling is not very well depicted.
Okay, I've got for bad. I've got Arnold's beard. It looks like Gow grew a beard. It is so.
I'm not much of a beard guy either. So yeah,
it is so obviously stuck on.
Yes,
it just looks awful. It's a bad beard, and to top that off, the toy hard hat that Arnold has to wear when he gets on the truck. He's wearing this yellow hard hat that looks like it was out of a Bob the Builder playset.
Oh, wow.
Fucking terrible.
Awful. It was awful.
Dynamo, just as a character, is just such a dud.
Not terribly scary. Just looks dorky. Doesn't have any cool things that he does. Shooting laser beams. Dipshit.
Yep. Okay, so this is a bad, and then it is quickly backed up by good. So I've put it in the bad. The use of "I'll be back" is so cringy, and it is only saved by Richard Killian going.
Agreed.
Which is one of the best lines in the 80s.
Agreed.
It just saves it.
Yeah, that was a very good call. I think it was a little bit hokey, but just nailed by Richard Dawson. Well done.
Okay, and I've got one last thing for bad. Just hang on.
This is no game. Standing in the dark, I swear I heard you calling my name.
So good. So bad, it's good.
That song
it's awesome. It's really good.
Yeah, look, don't be surprised if that also turns up in my ugly. That's how good this song is.
Yeah,
it needs to be heard. Okay, do you have anything for ugly, Daniel?
Look, only the look of horror that must have come across the actors' faces when their agents described the costume department when they were you've got the lead in the movie. Oh, that's awesome. There's one catch. You need to wear a yellow bobsledders outfit. That wouldn't have gone down well with Yaphet Kotto, who looked like he was pretty good on the tooth. So, I'm thinking that was probably a little bit of a poor reveal from his agent at the time.
I've got to say, though, congratulations on to the wardrobe department, because there's no camel toe in any scene.
Yeah, I was looking pretty close. I don't know. Maybe there was inferred camel toe.
I was looking for Maria Conchita Alonso. I was thinking there has to be some camel toe here. And I think she's wearing. She might be wearing a padding of some.
She's wearing some anti-toe for sure. Anti-toe.
She's wearing anti-toe.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got that the 80s in general is a little rapey in movies.
Yes.
So the way to get the woman is to be rapey with her, and Dynamo is in his undies and his. I'm thinking, what is he going to do to her? And I'm thinking, it's so rapey. There's no need for it.
This is why I don't show it to my 11-year-old and 9-year-old daughters, but I'm interested that you do to yours. So that's
fine. And look, each their. I don't judge you. You should not judge me.
I should not, but I do.
Yes, well, that's why we're different. And then obviously, my last bit for ugly.
This is no.
And there we
Outstanding.
go. Just
Outstanding.
amazing. John Parr, we salute you. You have elevated yourself into the highest echelons of Born to Watch lore. One of the great songs.
Outstanding.
Hang on now, people. We're just going to take our very first quick break on Born to Watch, and we'll be straight back. Well, straight back is a figure of speech. There may be 72 hours in between the straight backs. Dan, welcome back. How are you, mate?
Yeah, much better. I don't know if you noticed, I was fading there for a while, so we decided to take a pause. I went and had 3 days off sick on the land, which, the land never stops. So it was unusual. I might get kicked out of the Landholders Guild. But, yeah, feeling much better today. Thank you.
Yeah, you sound a lot better, mate. I'll tell you what, we're going to pick it up with Dan's Quick Fire.
Before we do that, we were just talking about where Born to Watch is big around the world. And apparently we're pretty big in Finland.
Big in Finland. I think last week we were number 17 in the movie review podcast in Finland. So we're big. We're big up there in the Nordic area.
We're never gonna topple Kimi Räikkönen's movie podcast where he talks about his favorite driving movies on a loop. So famous Finns.
Who was the flying Finn?
I think that was Kimi Räikkönen. Yeah.
Was it Kimi? Okay.
Or was it a rally guy?
Was it a skier?
Was it who was the Colin McRae?
Colin McRae rally.
Fuck no. It's Finland, eh? I don't think I've ever been there. You've been
I've
to
never
Finland?
been. No, please, Dan. I'm very particular in where I travel to.
Yeah.
And it's never got into up to that part of the world.
No, I've been around there. I've spent a bit of time up in the Scandos and the Nordics, but no, never made it to Finland. Shout out to all our Finnish friends, fucking, Linus and Tove and Carl Gustaf and all you fucking crazy cunts.
Yeah,
Good on
and
you.
we do love a Scandi style thriller here on Born to Watch.
Oh, we do
No?
like some Scandi noir, that's for sure.
Let's hope there's not as much dildo ass kicking in Finland as what there is in other Scandi countries.
Yeah. And Bridget Nielsen, she'd look good in the nude, or used to. Anyway,
in the 80s, definitely.
Yeah.
In the 80s, yeah.
What are we doing? Quick fire. Yes.
Quick fire.
Well, first up, look-alike from The Running Man. Now, I've got to say that there was some very good lighting in this. And I've already made comment that I thought Arnie looked pretty bloody good, even though he's not at his giant best. Now, I did, when I was a clean, kept sort of dude, I did run a bit of a short back and sides like that for a while. Me and Danny Carpenter, a little bit off the side, touch the top, I'll fucking kill you. Shout out to you, Carpo. So I'm gonna throw it out there. I definitely looked a bit like a Running Man Arnie there for a while. Anyone else that you saw that reminded you of someone else?
Look, I was going to say that I might have some dynamo tendencies, but when he's getting around with half his gear on and his undies on, that's definitely Fat Morgs.
Yeah.
I've seen Fat Morgs in that exact position.
Yeah.
As he was in his scruds, and it wasn't a good look.
If I had had a particularly large night on the Piscatola, that's a look that we both recognise from back in the day. What about Yaphet Koto? Maybe a bit of Sonny Payne vibe?
Oh, I tell you what, you're right. I think so.
I think shout out to Sonny. Saw him and his old man the other day. They came around, but I'm seeing a bit of Yaphet Koto. Could have been a great character actor, our Sonny.
Yeah, one character.
Disgruntled man. Dropping calls on Anthony Meehan.
Disgruntled, angry mob leader.
Excellent. Well done, Sonny. Good. I'll accept both of those. What about 5-minute movie? Anything that anyone in this movie could have done to make it an even quicker movie? Not that it was a long one. Whitey.
We'll go to me. What about they throw him out the chopper?
Yes, and that
They just
multicam
let him
shoot
go.
chopper. Yeah, I feel like that could have gone a different way. Excellent. We'll accept that. Golden ticket for anything from the Running Man that has passed over into popular culture. I've got a bone to pick because I've been sick. I've actually, against my better wishes, I've listened to a couple of Born to Watch episodes myself, and whenever that little strawberry blonde Fanta-pubed cockhead does this segment, he's running the categories from about the late 90s. So he's still talking about Rocky's mate as the douchebag. He's still talking about that's not a knife. So can he just maybe get with the program and get with the right segment?
Look, whilst I respect your wishes and I respect the commitment to the podcast, Daniel.
Mate, I've listened to like 3, I reckon.
Awesome.
Year,
I appreciate that. And one of them was Showgirls.
Yeah.
So you've listened to 2 for the other 9 months of the year, which is great. But I think that maybe when you're not on the show and someone else is taking over the category that you sort of run, you've just got to run with it, right? You can't shout from the hilltops.
There was something else he said that was really shit, but I've forgotten it. I made a mental note, so hopefully it'll come back to me.
The thing that I like about, and you're talking about the pop culture, say hello to my little friend or whatever we call it.
All the shit he does. Yeah, the old stuff. Yeah.
But the thing is that every time we do this one, the pop culture one, I can hear you going, this is about pop culture that we use, not about in pop culture every single time. And I chuckle.
Every time.
I just let him go.
Yeah. Anyway. Dead shit. All right.
Yeah.
I've said my piece. How's your mum?
I'm not sure there's any pop culture in this, and I do like say your piece, is your mum.
I don't know. There's nothing really that I mean, any of the calls? Not really. There's nothing unique.
I think this is one of the least quotable movies that he's done.
Yeah, I tend to agree. They're all on the nose, all of his comments, and they're funny at the time, and they suit the tone of the movie. But no, nothing that me or you or the G throwing at ourselves ad infinitum. So yeah, let's move on. Pig face lick outs for the biggest douchebag character in the Running Man, Whitey.
Look, can we pick a stalker? I'm not sure whether the stalker would be eligible because they might be the antagonists.
That they are, even though they are their antagonists. I think both Dynamo and Buzzsaw are so over the top shit. I mean, Buzzsaw, he's just going for it. He's just massively overacting, and Dynamo's just not very scary.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd be happy to accept either or both of those.
Yeah, I think they're the one. I think Dynamo's the one that I had.
Could a special mention be given to Maria Conchita Alonso?
Actually, that's a pretty good call because she is a pain in the ass.
She's pretty douchey, and she's got a pretty swift character arc.
She does.
She goes from dobbing him into wanting to root him pretty quickly.
How long after they kiss is he slamming her?
Yeah, I don't know. Ben Richards, he's not that into it. I think he'd rather have a hamburger, that guy.
I don't know. I think little Arnie's getting a run pretty quickly.
Big Arnie. We saw it in the Terminator when they did the 4K version. And he goes all right.
He never skips cock day.
Excellent. I will accept that, either of those 3. Next up, Steven Seagal running, which Damon calls Kim Mills running, which is funny, but it's long gone. Anyway, Steven Seagal running. Whitey.
Look, I've got Dynamo again. I think everything he does is pathetic. He can't drive a car.
No, his car's lame. He's not tough. He doesn't look tough. His undies are terrible. But
I find the stalkers, like Buzzsaw's on a motorbike, which if you're on your feet, you're just dodging out of the way. It's not a particularly nimble thing.
No.
And then Dynamo's in possibly the world's worst movie vehicle. I think that none of them are particularly good on their feet once they get about it.
I can't imagine that John Wick would have too much trouble with either of those baddies.
Nah, it'd be a 3-tap. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head.
Bang, 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 bang. Exactly.
See you later.
Excellent. Do accept that. Robot Centuries. Did we want to know anything more about this world of the Running Man? Whitey.
No, I don't think so. I think we know enough. I think that I really love how quickly it jumps into it. So I love that we find that he's the butcher from Bakersfield into the prison, into the game. It's really quick, short and sharp. I don't think we need to know anymore. We know it's a shithouse place to live. Move on.
Agreed. I didn't need to know anything more. Excellent.
Yep.
Finally, Whitey's Brad Pitt for what you would like to do to Maria Conchita Alonso, Killian's assistant. I reckon maybe Maria Conchita when she's working out in her lingerie, which did seem excessive. But was there anyone else that took your fancy?
Yep, there was a blonde watching the show with a set of corporates on a bar, sitting next to a guy in a suit. And she's my one. I don't know what her name is. She's probably corporate attendee number 6. But I really thought, because there's no one. It's it's really the 2 you've mentioned. Yeah. Or try and find someone in the crowd. It's definitely not Mrs.
Well,
McCarthy.
all the dancers. I think all the dancers.
Okay. So let me refrain. If I can't have all the dancers, then the blonde watching is the go.
Excellent. All right, we'll accept it. Well done. Thank you, Whitey. That was quickfire.
Well done, Daniel. Listen to this. You got anything for this, Dan?
I did have something. You're going to have to edit a bit here while I find it. The limo was extremely impressive. It was actually a Maserati Quattraport 3 stretch limo, which did seem excessive.
How big do you reckon the market is for a Maserati limo?
It's got to be pretty small back in the day. Yeah. That's a fairly niche bizzo right there.
I'm quite, in a way, glad that you mentioned the limo, because I was just driving home and I was on the M1, and this is a bit ironic and also sad and also a little funny, but a funeral hearse had broken down on the side of the road.
Oh, that
right?
sucks.
And I was like, I saw it about 150 meters away, and I was like, oh shit, that's no good. I said, I hope there's no coffin in it.
Oh no.
As I got up next to the hearse, it had a coffin and flowers and everything on it. So some poor family is waiting for their loved one to turn up, and he's parked on the side of the road in a car that has died.
Now, whose fault is this? Do you think it is maybe someone going for the budget option and that's come back to bite them?
Well,
because vehicle servicing is not part of the service.
Surely, as a funeral home, the bare minimum is a running motor vehicle. It's got to be in the fine print. There's got to be some guarantee that says, we guarantee we get the body to its resting place.
Yeah, it seems like a given. You don't really need to call that out as a key feature in this service. So, yeah. No, that's pretty shit.
Not great.
Excellent. Look, 2 things. Old Dynamo actually was a classically trained baritone opera guy. I think you mentioned that before. So that was him singing the aria from The Marriage of Figaro, which is pretty impressive. We don't talk about it a lot, but many movies from studios actually patch in different footage, B-roll from other movies whenever they can. And this one, the attacking helicopters, actually came out of the movie King Kong from 1976. So there's a nice usage. That's about all I've got.
Jessica Lange looks amazing in King Kong 1976.
Yeah, that's a good.
And so does Jeff Bridges, I got to say.
Yeah, a couple of good-looking roosters right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So when Rob Cohen purchased the rights to the Richard Bachman novel, he was super curious as to why it was so expensive because he didn't realize that Richard Bachman was in fact Stephen King.
Well, none of us did until we did. So yes.
Yeah.
And it was a release thing. They didn't want to release too many novels a year from Stephen King, but Stephen King was on the gear massive and punching out the books super quickly, and he wanted more freight, so he made up Richard Bachman.
Well, it was also that the tone and the subject matter was different with Bachman books. They were more actiony, sci-fi, rather than your horror stuff King was well known for. So
interesting.
So it was originally scheduled for a July 87 release, but they had to bump it back so that it didn't run into Predator, which was released in June.
That would have been amusing to see Arnie versus Arnie at the box office.
Yeah, that would have been. But that doesn't happen anymore, does it? Where an actor's got multiple movies at the box office.
No, not at all. The studios are too onto it, and they just can't get release slots with the with the cinemas either. So no, it just doesn't happen.
Yep. So we already mentioned the Mick Fleetwood. The rumor is he's playing himself, and Weasel Zappa plays Stevie.
Makes sense.
Which is quite funny. And we did mention that Paula Abdul choreographed all the dances.
Yeah.
And also Schwarzenegger is wearing a World's Gym sweatshirt, which at the time he was the CEO of World's Gym.
He's clever man.
Very good.
Be useful. I must revisit Be Useful to see what the big man said to me.
Quotables. Dan, you got anything that sort of springs to mind?
I mean, there wasn't anything that there's a ton of one-liners. Like, what happened to Buzzsaw? Oh, he had to split. Like all that shit.
Yes.
But I don't know if there's anything that really... Amber says, I'm warning you, I get sick, sick, I'm going to throw up all over you. Go ahead. It won't show on this shirt. Like, just...
I laughed at his quips with her.
Yeah, I like the tone. I really did. But there's nothing in here that was of particular note that I think the screenwriters are all laughing at the bar going, oh, you did well there. It seems like Gow could write most of these.
Yeah, I love the one when Amber comes into the game and she's like, me and my big mouth, we should have taken the trip to Hawaii. And he goes, I had the shirt for it, but you fucked it up.
Uplick underground. If you guys don't shut up, I'm going to uplick your ass and you'll be underground. I mean, it's so on the nose. It's just horrible.
It's not great. It is not a great script. The best line in the movie is on a rerun. That is so well delivered.
Killian has the best line for sure.
Yeah, that is the best line. Only in a rerun. Go! I think that is from what goes from super cheesy to that, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So well done, Damon Killian.
Damon.
1 degree of Kurt Russell. I didn't find anything. I'm sure you didn't either.
Oh, yeah, I didn't find anything because I didn't look. But that looks...
See, this is where it breaks down.
This is where, it's more glaringly obvious during a 4-ball. Normally I can hide during a 6-baller. So, yes.
Well, and what we did is that normally in this slot goes Film School for F-Wits, but we covered that earlier in the show.
Yeah,
earlier in the show.
Yeah.
So well done, Daniel. That's something new, but it is it's what we've all been waiting for, and I think the real reason why we needed to have a 3-day break so that the dynamo of the podcast could prepare himself for kick-ass credit song, now known as John Parr kick-ass credit song.
Yes, there was a meeting through the week and we were just so in awe of John Parr's kick-ass credit song at the end of this film, which I'm sure Whitey will sprinkle like stardust throughout the episode. We've seen a video for it, which has had us in stitches all week. But what a fucking legend. Very hard to beat that. I will raise my hand and admit I was going to sing Always Looking Himself Out again this week just because I thought it was that, but I won't. Except for the his self notes for each episode. Mommy.
Well, when you're right, you're right.
Yes, but I did mention before that I felt the discussion with Yaphet Kotto and his agent would be a tough one, considering that he was going to get paid decent freight. There wasn't a lot of character development. He doesn't do a hell of a lot, and he has to wear a fucking bobsledders uniform the whole time. So with that in mind, my kick-ass credit song, thanks to John Parr for this week, is Skin Tight Nightmare. Skin Tight Nightmare. Here we go. My agent called me, said, Yaphet, you're the man. You're co-starring with Arnie in The Running Man. Cool. Rebels, gun fights and explosions, right? He said, sure, but you'll have to wear yellow spandex tights. And Arnie laughed. Sure, schon, Yaphet. Zeig uns die camel toe. Very nice, Yaphet. Show us the camel toe. Lufander man. This suit's a curse. Lufander man. Sucking my gun for 3 months. Doesn't get worse. Lufander man. Nowhere to hide. Lufander man. My chocolate salty balls are in for a ride. They zip me up. No mercy.
Jesus
Cut off my
Christ.
air. Arnold's flexing next to me. Life ain't fair. I said, how you moving this? He grins with pride. Ich bin the running man. And I died inside. Arnie, taunting in German. Luft. Fuck. It's very hard to play multiple characters in this one. Here we go.
God.
Arnie, taunting in German. Laugh, Joffert, laugh. Which is run, Joffert, run. Das ist kein Kostüm. Das ist Mode. That's not a costume. That's fashion. Lufander man. This suit's no fun. Lufander man. 3-month winchy in my bum. Lufander man. Bright colors cause dismay. Lufander man. The costume department won't be able to remove those stains. Ich bin der running man. Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear me, Daniel.
Oh, fuck.
Fucking hell.
I don't know how that one's going to
Lufander
come
man.
out. The change of character point of views were tough.
Well,
But
mate,
Arnie was in there giggling at him and dropping calls on him in German.
you are pushing the envelope when it comes to multi-character kick-ass credit songs.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, dear me. Star of the show, Dan, who you got?
I'm going to give it to Richard Dawson. I think without this film isn't as good as it could be. I think he really anchors it. I think his Killian is an exceptional villain and one of our favorites, and made this revisit very entertaining for me to really zero in on how good that guy was in this movie. Well done, Richard Dawson.
I completely agree. It has to be Killian. He's the only guy that's got really anything to do, and he does it well, although he's apparently quite a bit of a cock.
There you go, Ellen Dawson.
That's it. The Rank Bank. Wow, this was not. I'll need some help here. I think I got Butchers of Bakersfields.
Yeah, too easy.
Chainsawed Nutsacks.
Like it.
High pitched deaths.
Yep.
Which is after the Chainsawed Nutsacks. Whitman, Price, and Hadduds.
That's Damo would love that. He loves Whitman Price.
he would.
Yeah.
Poverty-stricken gamblers.
Yep.
Vomit-styled shirts.
Yep.
And I think we could throw something in there like skid-marked jumpsuits.
I think you've nailed it on the final one. It's Yaphet Kotto bemoaning the fact that his jumpsuit was yellow and if someone had to clean that off, and fuck that. Skid-marked jumpsuits it is.
Skid-marked jumpsuits. Let me just type that in there. Jumpsuits. Okay. Okay, Dan, how many skid-marked jumpsuits are you giving The Running Man?
I had a great time watching this. It didn't lag, filled me with nostalgia. It was one of those movies which I was able to predict the dialogue and knew every scene. Nothing really surprised me about it, but it was a very enjoyable revisit. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a solid 4 and thank everyone involved for such a great time travel back to 1987.
Wow, Dan, that's massive. Are you sure you're not still sick?
I'm definitely coming out the other side. So maybe it's part of the feeling, euphoria that's with me.
Euphoric, yes.
Yeah, I've had some. Cobra comes to mind where I had a terrible experience where I revisited. But this one, loved it at the time, loved it when I just revisited it. So now I'm giving it a 4 every day of the week.
Okay, cool. Well, I agree with everything that you have said. I'm the agree guy here. I think it was fun watch. It has helped that it's not one that I've watched heaps of late, but so it was good to rewatch it. Lots of fun. One of the worst scripts that we've come across, but
terrible.
It was able to overcome through a bit of charisma and a bit of action. And I think for that, it gets 3.75 skid marked jumpsuits for me. Excellent. Now that puts it in. I just want to just go this. Oh, Moots. Why isn't that doing that? There we go. Zidai. There we go. Now, that brings it in at 3.88 skid-marked jumpsuits. Excellent. Into number equal 87. With 3.88 no good for us babies.
He's not good for us, baby.
Yeah.
He's no good for us, baby.
You got it.
Fuck.
Rocky 2.
That's right.
It's the manager. It's Duke. Duke goes, he's no good for us, baby.
Yeah. Yep.
And 3.88 blue-eyed wet dreams.
Blue-eyed wet dreams. No, don't know that one.
June.
Oh, okay. Yep. There you go.
Yeah. And look, just below.
I did like June. I did like the second one. I'm looking forward to the third.
Yeah, the third one will be good, I think. Just below a heap of them at 3.92. Iron Man, Coming to America, Rocky 3, Misery, Anchorman, and Dirty Harry. And Escape from New York.
All excellent except for Iron Man, obviously, which licks dead donkey dicks.
And just above 3.83 sets of skills.
Bigger set of skills.
You don't know who you are. 3.83 sets of skills and 3.83 six-term senators, which you won't get, which is Shooter.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't seen that for a long time. I know Sloan from The Hood loves that film, but I haven't seen it for a long time.
Yeah. Well, Dan, we've done it. It's taken 2 times to get here.
Hard work. Took a whole week. I had to concentrate. Excellent. Not bad.
This has been, from a time frame perspective, recording perspective, the longest podcast in Born to Watch history.
Excellent.
It's taken 5 days to record, but we got here. Next week, we've got something which will be a lot of fun and something that our resident Snorbs reporter will be over the moon with.
Oh, goodness.
In 1995, a movie was released, a sci-fi movie with a B-grade plus cast and a blonde alien that is the center of many a blue-eyed wet dream.
Yeah, that's a pretty hot alien right there.
1995 Species.
Oh, Natasha, what's her name?
Henstridge. Natasha Henstridge.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
It's got a great cast. Michael Madsen, Mark Helgenberger, Ben Kingsley, Alfred Molina.
I wouldn't have
Forrest
seen that
Whitaker.
since 1995. So, yeah, that would be worth a revisit. F-Wits.
It will be a lot of fun. Damo, I'm sure, will have plenty to say about it. And just like Showgirls a few weeks before, is a full-length Snorb report.
Yes. I actually, whilst I've been ill this week, tried to watch Showgirls, and I couldn't get out where she gets ripped off at the start by the dude in
Oh
the
my
ute,
God.
and then she has the full tantrum in the car park, and she was already so over the top. And I remember what
Yep.
you guys were saying, that I was like, nah, I can't. This is ridiculous.
It's
I
incredible.
didn't even get to a schnorb, and I was just like, nah, can't do it.
It's so incredibly bad.
Yeah. She was
So-
ill-advised by old mate because he was too busy racking up to care.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, it was bad. Showgirls, I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
Quite comfortable in saying that. It was tragic, even though it does have a couple of the great line reads in the history of cinema, which it's just doesn't make up for the. I've got a problem with the
torture.
pussy. I've got a problem with the pussy, and it must feel weird not having people come on you.
I mean, that's like Oscar-winning stuff, but the rest of it
It's-
just doesn't pay off. I get it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible stuff. It really
Yeah.
is. But next week, do your homework. We've got Species. It's going to be fun. Bring your tissues. Bring whatever you need to get through it.
Do
Damo's
it.
going to be on fire. Gal will be back. Morgs has got the week off. Needs to
Sweet.
recover from whatever ailment that he's had.
Yeah.
Share to your friends. Share to your enemies. Get on borntowatch.com.au. Leave us a voicemail. And we will see you on the line. Bye for now.
And just a quick shout out to Tim at the Middle Age Movie Dogs. Thanks for your comment, mate.